We're looking for black holes. But what if we're already in one? We've spent decades searching for black holes. We've built satellites. We've created gravitational wave detectors so sensitive they can measure the vibration of a proton. We've pointed telescopes at the sky and looked for the shadows they cast. We've found them, thousands of them, black holes scattered throughout the universe, devouring stars, warping space-time, pulling everything toward a point of infinite density from which nothing escapes. We search for them everywhere. But what if we stopped looking? What if we just opened our eyes and looked at where we're standing right now, at the ground beneath your feet, at the sky above your head, at the stars stretching to the horizon in every direction? What if we've been inside one the entire time? Not metaphorically, not philosophically, literally. What if the universe, the entire cosmos, all of space and time, every galaxy, every star, every atom in your body, what if all of it is contained within the event horizon of a black hole? What if we've been living inside a black hole since the moment of the Big Bang? What if the Big Bang wasn't the creation of the universe? It was the moment we fell through an event horizon and never knew it. And the most terrifying part? We'd have no way to know. Let me show you why this is physically possible. Let me show you the math, and then I'll show you the evidence. Because there are physicists, real physicists, with credentials and published papers who have started to wonder if we're not searching for black holes in the cosmos. We're searching for the cosmos inside a black hole, and they think they might be right. Let me start with what we know about black holes, and I mean really know. Not the pop science explanation, the actual physics. A black hole forms when massive matter collapses. When a star dies and its core is dense enough, gravity becomes so intense that it warps space-time into a singularity, a point of infinite density where the laws of physics break down. And surrounding that singularity is the event horizon, the point of no return. Cross that boundary and even light can't escape. Space-time is so warped that every path forward in space and time leads toward the singularity. That's the standard model, and it's terrifying. But it's also incomplete. Because here's what physicists discovered in the 1960s: the mathematics of black holes has a surprising property. A black hole is defined by the Schwarzschild solution, a mathematical description of space-time around a singularity. And when you solve that equation, when you work through the mathematics, you get something unexpected. The equations work both ways. A black hole from the outside, a collapsing star. A point of no escape is mathematically identical to a white hole from the inside. A region where space-time is expanding, where everything is moving outward, where time flows forward, matter spreads out, and the geometry keeps expanding. Which means if you're inside a region of space-time defined by the Schwarzschild solution, if you're standing in an expanding, evolving space where time flows forward and matter spreads outward, you're inside a black hole. You just can't tell. Because from the inside, an event horizon is invisible. Think about that for a second. Let it sink in. An event horizon, the boundary of a black hole, the point of no return, would be completely invisible from inside. You could be standing right next to it and never know, because light can escape from inside an event horizon. It's only from the outside that light can't escape. From the inside, you're in a normal region of space. You can see stars. You can see light. Everything looks normal. The event horizon is invisible to you. It's only visible from outside, looking in. And this is where the nightmare begins, because we observe the universe expanding. We measure it constantly. The galaxies are moving away from each other. The space between them is increasing. We call it the expansion of the universe. We measure the expansion rate. We call it the Hubble constant. We build models explaining the expansion. But what if that expansion isn't the universe expanding? What if it's the geometry of the interior of a black hole? What if what we perceive as cosmic expansion is actually the interior metric of a black hole, unfolding, evolving, spreading outward, following the exact mathematical laws that would govern the inside of an event horizon? We'd measure expansion. We'd measure it correctly. We'd see galaxies moving away, we'd calculate the rate of acceleration, and we'd be describing the interior of a black hole without realizing it. Let me show you how this would work. The Big Bang is described as the beginning of time and space. Everything was compressed into an infinitely dense point. Then it exploded outward, space expanded, time began. Matter spread out. Galaxies formed, life evolved. The universe continued expanding forever. But that description, that's also a description of what happens when you cross an event horizon from the outside and look at the interior. At the moment of crossing, space-time is infinitely distorted. But immediately after crossing, space-time begins to expand again. The interior metric of a black hole is mathematically identical to an expanding universe, which means the Big Bang might not have been the beginning of the universe. It might have been the moment we fell through an event horizon. Think about what that means. At some point in the infinite past, before the Big Bang, there was a parent universe, a cosmos that existed before ours. And in that universe, a massive star collapsed, its core compressed. The density increased beyond comprehension, and the collapse created a black hole, a region of space-time so warped that nothing inside could ever escape. And we, the atoms that would eventually form galaxies, stars, planets, life, we were part of that collapse. We fell through the event horizon, and from the moment we crossed that boundary, from the perspective of anything inside, we were in an expanding universe. We were in the Big Bang. We were in our own cosmos, isolated, unable to communicate with the parent universe outside. We were trapped, and we've been trapped for 13.8 billion years. But here's what makes this genuinely terrifying. If this is true, if we are inside a black hole, then there's an event horizon somewhere, an invisible boundary, an edge of our universe where space-time curves so sharply that light can't escape. And that event horizon is coming toward us, slowly, infinitely slowly, but inevitably, because the interior of a black hole is not stable. The Schwarzschild solution describes space-time that's evolving, unfolding, moving. And that movement has a direction. The matter inside is being pulled toward the singularity. Not immediately, not in our lifetimes, not in the lifetime of the universe as we know it, but eventually. In trillions of years, when the last stars have died, when the universe has cooled to nearly absolute zero, when all the matter has decayed, when only radiation and exotic particles remain, that's when the true nature of the system will become apparent. The singularity will consume everything. Matter will be torn apart. Space-time will become infinitely warped, and our universe will end, not with a bang, not with a whimper, but with a collapse. A recursive collapse back toward the singularity that created us. It's the ultimate cycle, birth from collapse, life in the expanding interior, death in the return to singularity. But wait, because if we're inside a black hole, and black holes can be created inside black holes, then what created the parent universe? What created the black hole we fell through? Another black hole. Another parent universe, another collapse and expansion cycle. Universes nested within universes like Russian dolls, each one containing a black hole, each one creating a universe inside that black hole, each one eventually collapsing back to the singularity. Reality is recursive. It's black holes all the way down. And if it's black holes all the way down, then perhaps it's black holes all the way up too. Perhaps our parent universe is itself inside a black hole. Perhaps that universe is inside another universe inside another black hole. Perhaps the pattern repeats infinitely. An infinite tower of universes, each containing black holes, each black hole containing a universe, all the way up to infinity and all the way down to infinity. We're one universe in an infinite stack of universes, and we have no way to know if our parent universe even still exists. We have no way to know if the black hole we fell through ever closed. We have no way to know if anything outside our event horizon is still there, still existing, still conscious. For all we know, the parent universe collapsed billions of years ago. The black hole that created us might have evaporated through Hawking radiation. Our parent world might be gone, and we'd never know. Because from inside the event horizon, we can't see outside. We can't receive signals from beyond the boundary. We're isolated, completely isolated. Alone in an expanding void inside an event horizon, the last survivors of a universe that might have already died. But let me show you the evidence. Because this isn't just wild speculation, there's actual data that fits this model. First, the cosmic microwave background radiation, the oldest light in the universe, the afterglow of the Big Bang. We measure this radiation. It's remarkably uniform. The temperature is almost the same everywhere. 3 Kelvin, 3 degrees above absolute zero. Uniform, isotropic, stable. But if the universe is truly infinite and has been expanding for 13.8 billion years, the radiation should show more variation. The universe should be more chaotic. But it's not. It's almost perfectly homogeneous, almost perfectly symmetric, which is exactly what you'd expect from the interior of a black hole. The interior metric of a black hole predicts almost perfect symmetry, almost perfect uniformity, the very uniformity we observe. Second, the expansion rate. The universe is expanding faster than it should. We know this because we measure distant supernovae, and they're farther away than our models predict. We invented dark energy to explain the acceleration, an invisible force pushing the universe apart. But what if dark energy isn't a force at all? What if it's the geometry of a black hole interior? The expansion rate naturally accelerates as you move toward the future, not because of some mysterious force, but because of the curvature of space-time itself. We observe accelerating expansion because we're inside a black hole, and the black hole's geometry naturally produces acceleration. We see dark energy because we're measuring the shape of the space we're in. Third, the visible universe has a horizon. We can only see to a certain distance. Beyond that, space is too far away for light to have reached us since the Big Bang. We call this the cosmic horizon, the edge of the visible universe. But a black hole also has a horizon, the event horizon, the edge where space-time curves so sharply that light can't escape. The cosmic horizon we observe might not be the edge of the visible universe. It might be our event horizon. We can't see beyond it. Not because the light hasn't had time to reach us, but because nothing from beyond the event horizon can reach us. The light is trapped on the other side, unable to cross the boundary. We're inside a black hole, looking outward, and the event horizon is the limit of our observable universe. It's not a distance limit. It's an absolute boundary. Fourth, time itself might be telling us we're inside a black hole. Near the event horizon of a black hole, time flows slower, not a little slower, dramatically slower. An object at the event horizon experiences time at a rate infinitely different from an object far from the black hole. And here's what's terrifying. We are moving toward the event horizon, not spatially, but temporally. As the universe ages, as time progresses, we're moving forward in time toward the singularity at the center of our black hole. And as we move closer to the singularity, as we move toward the future, time dilates. Time flows differently. The rate at which we experience time is changing. This is subtle. This is invisible. but it might be real. And it might explain why the universe is accelerating, why expansion is speeding up. As we move toward the future, toward the center of our black hole, space-time becomes more curved. Expansion accelerates naturally, not because of dark energy, because of geometry. We're aging. And as we age, the curvature of space-time intensifies. Fifth, and this is the one that keeps physicists up at night. We've never directly observed an event horizon. We've seen the shadows they cast. We've detected gravitational waves from black holes colliding. We've measured radiation from matter falling into black holes, but we've never observed an event horizon itself. We've never seen the boundary. We've never detected it. What if event horizons are invisible precisely because we're inside one? What if every black hole we detect, every shadow, every gravitational signal, every radiation source? What if those are all black holes inside our parent black hole? What if we're observing the interior structure of the event horizon that contains us? The black holes we search for aren't external objects separate from us. They're the internal geometry of our prison. They're the nodes and filaments of the space-time that defines our existence. We're searching for black holes while standing inside one. And now, the final realization, the one that completes the horror. If we're inside a black hole, then our entire future is determined. The singularity is inevitable. The collapse is coming. Not in our lifetimes, not in the lifetime of the Earth or the Sun, but inevitably. In the deep future, after the last star has died, after matter has decayed into radiation, after the universe has cooled to absolute zero, the collapse will begin. The inward fall, the acceleration toward the center, the compression of space-time. And eventually, everything, every atom, every particle, every bit of information that ever existed in our universe will be crushed into the singularity at the center of the black hole. And our universe will end, not with expansion, but with contraction. Not with stars fading, but with them being pulled inward. Not with silence, but with screaming pressure and heat as matter is torn apart at the quantum level. The Big Bang and the Big Crunch are the same event, just described from different perspectives. The expansion is the fall through an event horizon. The contraction is the return to singularity. The universe is breathing, inhaling as it falls in, exhaling as it compresses down, and we are inside the lungs of a black hole. But here's what makes this genuinely mind-breaking. If the Big Bang was the moment we fell through an event horizon, and if our universe will eventually collapse back to a singularity, then what happens at that singularity? What happens when infinite density is reached? Space-time can't become more curved than infinite curvature. But the equations of general relativity break down at infinite density. They give infinite answers. They stop making sense. And when equations stop making sense, when mathematics reaches its limits, what happens? According to some theoretical physicists, a new Big Bang might occur. The singularity might become the seed for a new universe, a new black hole interior, a new expanding cosmos. And if that's true, then the singularity of our black hole, the center where all matter eventually falls, might be the location of another universe's Big Bang. Which means our parent universe's Big Bang, the moment we fell through our event horizon, might have been the singularity of a grandparent universe. We live inside an infinite regression of Big Bangs and singularities. Each universe is the Big Bang of a parent universe. Each Big Bang is the singularity of a parent black hole. The pattern repeats forever. Up and down, in and out. Infinite nested universes, each containing black holes, each black hole containing a universe. We're not in the first universe. We're not in the final universe. We're one iteration in an infinite pattern. A pattern that might have been repeating forever. which means the universe didn't begin. It never started. It's always been like this. An eternal cycle of collapse and expansion, singularity and Big Bang. Black holes containing universes containing black holes containing universes. Infinitely deep, infinitely tall, infinitely ancient. We are not the beginning of anything. We are not unique. We are not special. We are one pattern in an eternal repetition. And the pattern doesn't start and doesn't end. It just cycles forever. And the most crushing part? There might be a way to test this.